The decisions you make right now will dictate what your future looks like. That is why you need to make sure that you are making the best decisions and that you're going towards success and happiness. How to do that is what we'll understand in this video. Stay tuned. Before we dive into the tips and the how of making the right decisions, we need to understand what this term decision making actually means, because we often have many misconceptions about this. Decision making isn't just a one moment thing that you do, it's a conscious process that you undergo. Decision making is the conscious process of deciding on something, and yes, it is not something that you just like, okay, I want to do this, I'll do it, done. It does not happen that way. It is a process, and that is why when you go consciously through this process, you bear full responsibility of your decisions. We need to understand this first before we dive into the process, because until and unless we don't assume responsibility for our own decisions and grow through that, we won't be able to achieve success and make better decisions through which we can live a better life. Now, let us understand the process of decision making and how it works. Now, let us dive into the 3-step process of decision making. Just like any other 3-step process, there are 3 parts to it. The first part of the process is preparation. For anything we do, for any journey we take, what we do is we first prepare. And that is what we need to do in decision making as well. We first need to prepare our mind, we first need to prepare ourselves so that whatever decision we take, we make it wisely, because just as I said before, the decisions we take are full responsibility of us and they dictate our future. Therefore, we need to be very practical about them. Now, the second step of the process is action. By action, I mean that we take action towards that thing, we do something, we step towards that, and in our process, it is actually making the decision and seeing whether it is good or not. And then finally, we have the third aspect, which is the result. What is the result in decision making? It is the future you get. Therefore, you always need to be able to deal with the consequences of your actions and see if you can bear them or not. Now, let us dive into each step one by one. The first step of the process is preparation. And in terms of decision making, preparation is to get out of any emotional state. Yes, what you need to do is not be in any emotional state, because if you are in an emotional state, you will not be able to make the right decision. Let me explain. When you are flooded with emotions and when you have a lot of doubts in your minds, there are a lot of thoughts in your minds, you are not able to think clearly and it creates a fuss. It creates something like this. Instead of a clear mind with 3 thoughts like this, it creates this. So what happens is that you're not able to separate things out, you're not able to analyze things properly, and that hampers your decision making ability. That does not allow you to make the right decision, and that will create problems for you in the future. So the preparation before taking any action is to get out of an emotional state. How can you do that? It's very simple. You need to take a few deep breaths. Whatever you're doing, just stop. I'm writing this down, I'll just drop the pen. I'll be like, you just need to do this. You need to take a few deep breaths and let your mind calm out. Let your mind sort things out a little, and then see if you're in the ability, if you're in the position of making a decision or not. If you're angry on someone, or if you're sad, or if you're extremely happy, whatever it is, try to let that moment pass, try to let that moment go away, and then take a decision when you're in a more neutral state. just waiting and just letting time go and getting back to a normal stage actually helps a lot and makes your decisions even better, because you're looking at the thing with proper perspective and with proper eyes, and you're not just confused with your emotions and looking from that perspective only. So this is the first step, which is to prepare and to get out of any emotional state. The second step of the process is taking action, and in terms of decision making, it means to weigh all pros and cons of your decision. Let's understand this with an example. I have this table here, and let's say that you want to make a decision of going to a cricket academy and spending 2 hours there every day. You want to see whether it will be beneficial to you or not. And you want to understand that whether you should focus more on your studies or on cricket. That's what we'll understand here in this. So we'll write pros on one side and cons on one side, and you just mention them one by one. One can be that one of the pros can be that you enjoy cricket and that you want to become more physically fit. So you can write here fit. This will help you understand how it works. So the one pro is fit, but the second con is that you will have less time for study. So you write less study. Now, this is a pro and a con. This way, you need to list down all of the pros and cons that are there in your decision and see which are more. In cricket, let's say that you have more pros, like you enjoy playing, then it is that you can get more sporting opportunities. Another one can be that you get more sponsorships. The next one can be that then the cons can be that you fail in your exams, your grade goes down, or that you aren't able to get a good job. Weigh these decisions out properly. Think what affects you more, what is the most important to you, and then see how the pros and cons match to that, and then take that decision. This is the action part where you're learning and where you're actually taking a decision and understanding how it works. Now we'll move on to the third step. The third step in the process is the result, and in terms of decision making, it means to be able to bear all the consequences of your action. You need to understand that whether or not you can bear whatever the consequences may be. You need to imagine a best case scenario and a worst case scenario. What is the best thing that can happen and what is the worst thing that can happen? Whether you go up or go down, you need to understand if you can bear those consequences or not. Continuing with the cricket example, let's say that the best case scenario is you get selected for the national cricket team and that you're playing on a really high level. Do you think you'll be able to handle that? Do you think that you'll be able to deal with the responsibilities and the courage that it takes to be open at such a vulnerable level where people are constantly commenting about you, talking about you, and when you perform or don't perform, you'll always have haters or you'll always have someone who's saying bad things about you? Do you think that you can handle both the praise and both the criticism? Then the worst case scenario is you fail at cricket, nothing happens, and then you have to just go back looking for a job. Do you think that at that time you will be able to deal with the financial stress and the problems that happen at that time? Is it worth the risk that even if you fail, you'll feel happy, fulfilled, and then you will be able to get back on your feet? Do you have that preparation? Ask these questions to yourself. These may sound tough, these may sound difficult, but in whatever long-term decision you are making, you need to make sure that you answer this very properly. For my YouTube, I know that the best thing that happens is my channel blows up and I have hundreds of thousands and millions of subscribers, which I aim to achieve, and that is why I'm making these videos. And then the worst case scenario can be nobody watches my videos, I'm just stuck at 100, 200 subscribers, and that my channel never grows. Am I able to deal with both of those things? Yes. The best case scenario is that the channel will blow up and I'm open, I'm vulnerable, and I accept feedback properly. I accept criticism as feedback and I don't let that affect me. So I will be able to deal with the stress of being a creator at that level as well. I know that personally. And then the worst case scenario is my channel never blows up, my channel never grows, and my videos just sit there. Still, I'm prepared to do that because through this I'm gaining an experience and I'm creating a reservoir of knowledge for myself that I can access anytime I want to. So I am prepared for both the best case and the worst case scenario. Even the time investment that goes into this, I'm happy about that because I'm learning a new skill, and whenever you learn a new skill, it gets utilized somewhere or the other, no matter what. So this is how you need to answer this question. You need to look at both the pros and the cons and see how they connect, and then see if you can understand the consequences or not. Now, this is a special thing that I want to tell you. This process that I outlined today and that I went into details with is a process for making long-term decisions that affect you over months or years. Making YouTube videos is a long-term commitment. That is why I went through this process. I understood these decisions and I then made the decision of jumping into YouTube. Starting cricket and doing that and pursuing it with full passion and interest is a long-term decision. It affects other areas of your lives as well. And that is why you need to make this process and go through this process to make sure that the decision is right for you and that you are planning your future the right way. Now, you may be wondering that what about short-term decisions? What about quick decisions that we need to take? You don't need to worry because the next video that I'll be making is about how to take quick decisions in the short term so that you're right at that time as well and that you think rationally and that you're able to do better. That is what the next video will also be like. To summarize those 3 points, I want to introduce you again to the diagram I showed you at the beginning. The 3-step formula. The preparation, the action and the result. Yes, you need to look at it this way and see it as a process here, something that flows from one stage to another and repeat it step by step. First loop complete, the second complete, and then you get back to step 1 whenever you're taking a new decision. Make this a habit in your life. This loop should always continue in your life, and that way you will never fail at making great decisions and you'll always achieve the success you desire. If you want to learn more about how to take short-term decisions, the next video I'll be making will be out very soon. So hit that subscribe button now and like this channel so that you get the update as soon as that video is released. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.